Hey, good morning, everybody. It's October, and we're in week 6 here talking about different strategic approaches and what our strategic plan is going to be with our company. And let me tell you, there's tons of them, and they change by the day. This is a running rabbit, it's not sitting still. So, when we're setting up our strategic plans and our goals and what we're planning to do as company leaders, it changes almost by the week. Now, on some of these larger scale plans and planning, that's not the case. Let me give you some examples. Sometimes we'll just flat out lower prices to gain market share or to block competitors. Okay? That's the easiest thing to do, and it's usually the worst thing to do because normally it's driving our profits down, right? So we really have to be careful not to just compete on price. All right. Some other things that we'll do is we'll take some really strategic measures, and maybe we'll buy up copyrights, or we'll buy up patents or collateral material, whatever we can, to try and cap a specific market or secure a specific product within a market that only we can have. Okay? So we'll go after patents, we'll go after copyrights, we'll pay attention to when patents run out. When a competitor's patents run out, we may bring in a similar product and lower the price on their product and penetrate their market that way. But we're always looking for ways to expand market share profitability. And so sometimes we're doing that based on a particular product or based on a particular competitor. Okay? So again, we're looking for their weak spots. All right? And generally, if they have a lot of, we'll call it proprietary items that are held only by them, like patents, copyrights, trademarks, we'll research those and see when they become available to us. Typical patent is 17 years long. So if a person has had a patent for X years, we'll start looking for that to come due about the 15th year, and then we'll start making some plans around that. Okay, particularly if it's a very profitable and popular product. Okay, so that's one of the things we'll do. We also look for mergers and acquisitions. M&A activity is probably one of the biggest and one of the most popular. All of you may at some point or another be on an acquisition team. Good stuff, a lot of fun. Okay, so what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for mergers and acquisitions that the general public is going to applaud. Okay, so if I say Apple went and bought some companies that we all like in the tech sector or the electronic sector that just don't do very well by themselves, we would applaud that because we think, hey, this will pump money into it and technology will become a better product, become more available, and that would be great. That's what we're looking for. Things that industry wants but can't have right now. So we call that synergy, all right? And that synergy is when we get 2 plus 2 equals 5, all right? What we mean by that, together they're worth more, much more than apart. So that's what we're looking for when we're looking for mergers and acquisitions. Partnerships and limited partnerships, totally different thing. But those happen too as a way to either be more competitive and steal market share or to block a competitor's capability. All right, so that's the offensive side of it in brief. Okay, the defensive side, again, when we're looking at trademarks, copyrights, or patents, we may go and petition to the boards, the trademarks and the copyright boards and patent boards, and say, hey, we're going to make a subtle change in this product and we want to extend our protection on this because we put a lot of money and we put a lot of effort into extending its life, and we may actually get 2 to 3 more years patent on a product that'll save us from a company coming in and sniping the legs out from underneath us when the patent becomes available. Okay, that's a defensive move. All right, or we may move manufacturing to a location that lowers our overall cost burden on a product, so we can be competitive when the time happens and the time is right on price. All right. Now, when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, a defensive strategy, we've heard some of those things where people have blocked company acquisitions or mergers. They petitioned to senators, governments to try and block such things. Time Warner went through quite a few of those. AT&T has gone through quite a bit of that. Why? Because they want to. AT&T at one point was a monopoly within the telephone systems, right? So these other little companies broke that up back in the 80s and 90s so that there could be more competition. Well, now it's coming back the other way. AT&T wants to buy different companies like DirecTV. They want to buy DirecTV. They want to buy Warner Cable. They also want to buy Charter Communications. And guess what they're trying to get again? A little bit of a monopoly. These are defensive strategies that prevent people from coming in and taking market share, because once you have that big volume and you get the scalar economies in there, there's no turning back after that. You're making money hand over fist and nobody will catch you. And what will end up happening as these small companies come up, we'll just buy them, right? So that's what happens. And one of the ways that we can take care of a competitor in our industry that's coming up that has a unique product or a process or people or whatever, we buy them. And we do whatever with them. We may leave them alone, let them grow and become their own space, or we may cannibalize them and bring them inside, sell off all the different tangible assets that they have, and keep the rest for ourselves. Okay, so there's lots of unique strategies. The chapter covers it in brief, but doesn't really scratch the surface when it comes to different things that we can do in business. But it gets to be really interesting when you start making these heavy-duty strategic challenges to the competitors. Okay, so I hope that gives you a little brief overview. For what I want you to understand in this class is take a look at the mergers and acquisitions. That's probably the more important one. Okay, take a look at the basic generic approaches to going to market. You know, low cost, differentiated, focused, broad, and think about how you can approach that in a more strategic way, whether it's through mergers and acquisitions, okay, or partnerships, strategic partnerships, doing it in a similar market that you're participating in, or in a non-similar, so it'd be diversified versus non, okay? All right, take care.